Hello and welcome to Crafty Corner this is Alpha 3? Yeah. Version Crafty 3 and Alpha 4. Um, that was a horrible intro, but I'm going to leave it because this is my third time already trying to do this. Anyway, so what is Crafty? Crafty is a free, 100% free, we'll never change that by the way, um, Minecraft wrapper that is used to help with your server administration. We support pretty much anything that runs a jar. So Forge, Waterfall, Bungee, Vanilla, Paper, which is my favorite. Um, what are the ones that might be out there? Because honestly, I don't know all of them. Um, anyway, we're going to continue on. So to get Crafty, you would go to craftycontrol.com. You would go to Crafty Releases, and then you would download the Windows version. 2.1 is very stable. It's considered final, even though it says Beta 1. Been a lot of downloads on it. People are pretty happy with it. Um, Crafty 3 has multi-server support, so you can run as many servers on the one machine as you want. Crafty will manage them all for you. Currently, the task scheduler is disabled in this. I had to disable a lot of things just to get the multi-server support going, and then as we turned on features, we would go back and we would fix those features to where they were able to work in a multi-server environment. Um, Mainly passing back and forth on the back end what server we're working with. So like when you go to your backups, you want to know which server you're backing up, things of that nature. So I had to disable some things. We're about to turn back on Task Scheduler. It's well over 1,000 lines of code, and it's going to take me a little bit of time just to get through it all. Anyway, we also have a virtual appliance if you are not tech savvy, but at least you can do a virtual environment as far as not a virtual environment, but a virtual machine. You can download an OVA. Here's the username and password for that. DHCP is enabled. It's based on Ubuntu. SSH is enabled on 22. Please change that if you decide to put it to the world. But this is a great place for you to test Crafty, see if it's going to work for you. But this is version 2. This is not version 3. I will probably make it a version 3 when it's getting closer to RC status or maybe even final. We do have a Docker image that does work. It is in the version 3. Um, you have to download 3 to get it. Basically, I just got to update the website. If you're running Linux, I made it very easy. Download the SSH file or shell file, excuse me. Run the shell file, the SH file, and it's going to ask you to configure some things. You can configure some things, and it'll be installed. I will stop wasting everyone's time and move forward with what everyone wants to know, which is what all does version 3 do? So version 3, I'm inside a virtual environment. Just FYI, you have to be inside one unless you're running the Windows version. And we load up Crafty, and you will see that we have a few things that may have changed depending on what version you're coming from. Here is the site for you to connect to. Here is your password for admin. Here is an API key. And you're like, well, wait a minute. Yeah, we do have an API that allows you to start, stop, back up, all that stuff from another console. Later on, we're probably going to have a service to do some other things for you. But for right now, it's there. It's cool. Um, anyway, so let us go ahead and log in. So if you go to localhost and you do this, which everyone does, it seems, uh, if you just go to HTTP, it's not going to work because Crafty requires HTTPS. And you might be asking why. Well, it's 2020, guys. Everything should be encrypted if you can. Anyway, it's going to say it's not secure, and that's okay. It's saying it's not secure only because it created its own certificate. Doesn't mean that it's hacked or anything weird. It's simply saying the browser is telling you a third party did not come in and give this thing a cert. It created its own. It's claiming to be something. Just like identity theft, it could pretend to be the FBI, and you go to FBI.com and you're like, well, which I don't know if that's the address, probably not. But anyway, if you go there and the site says that yeah, it's got a certificate, you're like, yay, wonderful, but turns out that it generated its own. So you need a third party to make things really secure. But this is secure as far as its communication back and forth. It will be encrypted. It's just that it's its own certificate manager. Now, if you want, you can install your own certificates into Crafty. It's available to do so. There are documentation on how to do that. You can use a Let's Encrypt, and that's fine. But I'm not going to go through all that code to make it happen for you. Various reasons why. You have to do it yourself. Anyway, I will shut up, and we will get down to the cool stuff. So, admin, we use that password that we got earlier. You'll notice here that we have no servers defined, and this has changed from last version depending on what you're coming from. This is a little more data on the server on the public side. And now, the old version had 4 questions in a checkbox. Now we have 5 questions in a checkbox. So, we're going to call this the survival server. I keep everything in Minecraft server. Paperclip, 2 gigs is fine, but notice that it actually tells you how much memory you have available. That's available, not total memory. I've got 32 gigs on this machine, but currently I have 26 gigs available. What is using up all my RAM? Oh, Chrome, probably. And same thing for the minimum, you can change that and it tells you what it is. Now the cool thing is if you're on Windows, you're going to see that this actually, the slashes are backwards, backslashes, because Windows. It actually gives you a Windows kind of path instead of a Linux path. We're not going to turn on the auto start for right now. We're going to hit save. It'll say please wait. Does its thing. Now you have the new dashboard, which has been a little bit overhauled. Here, I need to change that. It's not cores, it's actually threads. I have 16 threads, only 8 cores. But anyway, it tells you, your current gigahertz, your max gigahertz, how much memory you have versus available in percentage as well as real numbers. It tells you how many are defined, how many servers are defined, 0 out of 1 is running, and we have the nice interface here. All of this on the side has changed, as you can see. We have just dashboard, config, changing our password, a link to the documentation, and a link to our Discord. The Discord is really grown. We've got over 100 people now. A lot of helpful people in there who have used Crafty for a long time. I'm in there as much as I can be. If you have questions or problems with Crafty, just go to the Discord. This link is the exact same link as here on our main website, which is craftycontrol.com. And in there, lots of helpful people. Ask the question in the support channel, and someone will get back to you pretty quickly. You can also create a ticket if it's a big issue. We can have kind of like a private conversation with just me, you, and the mods. That way, if it's some type of privacy thing, it's only staff who are going to see it. Anyway, continuing along. So this is the server we just created, which is the survival server. Its status is currently stopped. Auto start is disabled. Has never started, so the server start time is nothing. Server type, we don't know. Server description, we don't know. This is the message of the day, and the server protocol, the server name as far as paper or waterfall or whatever, and the IP address and the port. So we're going to hit start, or you can hit stop, you can hit restart. Here's where you edit things, and these are collapsible. Number of players, CPU, and memory are all right here. So at a glance, you can see everything that's going on, and if it's folded up, you can still see some really important numbers straight out the gate. So we'll hit play. That's going to open up the virtual console for the survival server. And it's going to start loading and doing its thing. And that may take a minute. We'll go back to the dashboard. And you'll see that the status is running and it's currently still disabled. This will take a second to refresh, but you do see the server start time. Please note that the page refreshes every 60 seconds, but we take stats every 10 seconds. So if you hit F5, you'll see that now we're running version, paper. It's a Crafty server. There's this information for you. It's currently using 1% of our CPU, and it's using 1.5 gigs, 0 of 20 players. Now, to explain that a little bit more in depth, this is what Java is using. These up here are what the overall machine is using. And I did it this way so that you could see, um, exactly what each server is doing, as opposed to just kind of looking at your overall stats and going, well, we're at 18%. What's up with that? Also, a little bit of Windows terminology things. So Windows Task Manager does not look at threads, it looks at cores. So because of that, in Crafty, we look at threads. Uh, so if you're on Windows and Windows Task Manager says that you're using 12% of your processor, and you come into Crafty and it's less than 12%, that's because we're looking at the number of cores, threads, whereas Windows is looking at cores. So there'll be a difference there. Um, in my opinion, Crafty is more correct because it's threads. Windows is what it is. I'm not going to touch that. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm a bit of a Linux fanboy. Anyway, so as you see here on the front page, we have some new buttons. We'll go to details, and this will show you some more information. I'm still filling this out, guys, so it's not 100% finished. Your world size, what the world name is. I gotta make this look a little prettier. Historical data, there isn't any because it just started, but there will be a graph here that will show CPU, memory, and number of players that have been online, and also any current players here. I don't know what the server actions is going to hold, but it's going to do something. I just don't know what. Maybe I'll have an easy button to delete your world with a lot of questions to make sure you really want to do that. I start my worlds over a lot because I play hardcore, and when you die, the world's useless, so destroy it and rebuild. So I do that often because I'm a terrible Minecraft player. Um, anyway, to change the historical data and the frequency, we can go to config here. This has been overhauled a little bit too. You'll see your API key. This is per user, so this is not everyone has the same API key. Here you see historical data will be captured every 60 minutes and kept for 2 days. And you can change that here. You can say every minute. You can say keep it for 2 days. And the web server port is 8000. Notice that 443 and 80 require root on Linux. They are protected ports. We'll hit save. The FTP manager is built in here. You can change your FTP user, password, and port. This is not per person. There's only one user right now. If everyone has a problem using one user and there's a great cry for it, I might enable it so that each user can have their own FTP information. And maybe the FTP server actually uses the, actually I could do that. I could make it to where the FTP user is based on every user you have, as long as I have the FTP permission. I'm talking and just thinking out loud here. Anyway, users is here. We're still doing a lot of work to the users area. I have heard the cries of people wanting to be able to create their own roles instead of using the ones I've created as a base, and that's cool. We can totally do that. Just give me time to work on it. Anyway, going back to the dashboard, click here to go to your terminal, and this is the terminal for that server. Okay, and we'll go to logs. Now, this is the latest log for the survival, but these are Crafty logs in general. These are all the logs from Crafty, and here is our scheduled task, right? Look, server history. Last run was never. I'm sure it's going to run in a minute. Anyway, access logs. Here you can see who accessed the website. You can see where they went, what pages they got, things of that nature. Notice this remote IP is actually IP6 because I'm hitting myself. If you were to open this to the internet, you would probably see their remote IP. Um, FTP log, this is everyone who's logged into your FTP server and what they did. You can tell I don't use it. But down here we also have all of our latest logs. These are errors that were found in the latest log. And these are warnings that have been found in the latest log. And notice it's paginated. Paginated, I don't know which was the correct way. You can also do a quick search and say terracotta. And now you have filtered down to 80 instead of 1600. You can also search your latest log. This is something a lot of people don't know about. Let's say you're looking for, I don't know, let's go with essentials. You can click search over here. It'll ask what you're looking for. We'll hit OK, and look, there's a new search results tab. And these are just the results for that search. So if you're looking for what a player did, you can look for a player name. If you are, oh, I'll just leave it at that. You can figure out your own scenarios. This search results will stay here until you change the page. Then it will refresh and go away. But this lets you also see exactly what line number it was, what time it happened, so you can do a little bit of an investigation into a player action or how a command block worked or whatever. Little wisdom here. If you're having problems with Crafty, go to Crafty Log and see what it tells you, because it probably will tell you things that you need to know. Another thing is if Crafty is not working for you, come in here and just copy this, go into the server folder itself and just run the JavaScript like exactly how Crafty's doing it. And if it doesn't work, that tells you it's probably a server problem and not a Crafty problem. Just a little bit of troubleshooting advice. Not saying you have to do it, but that'll be one of the first things I ask you. Let's go back to the dashboard here and get some cool stuff going. Backups are re-enabled. Yay! We fixed a bug in here where certain things weren't being backed up properly. So let's go to change your backup config, and everything changes a little bit. You see that you are working on the backup for survival. You notice the button for backing up has gone away. You have to save your changes or hit cancel before that button will come back. You can also refresh the page, which is the same as canceling, and have the button back. How many days worth of backups do you want to keep? 7. Where do you want to keep them? We'll keep them there. What do we want to back up? Do we want to back up everything? We could, but some people have a very large server file. So let's uncheck that. And let's say, you know what? I really only need my plugins folder. And I do want to keep my logs. And maybe I want to keep my jar because I'm going to do an upgrade. My server properties is probably important as well. And we'll hit save. Ding. And yay, it's broken. I got to fix that. Oh, well, that would be an issue there. Let's see, admin handler. Let's fix this on the fly. Let's show everyone how horrible I code. Oh, it's a bool because it came back. Okay, yeah, okay. Well, that works. Okay. Line 700 and what? Line 734. Line 734. Well, we're close. There it is. Oh, you can't clean. You dummy. You can't clean that. It's not a text. But you know what I can do is I can force it to be an integer. That way we know for a fact. Yeah, we've gone through and we've cleaned some things we had some problems with, some cross-site server script errors and things. So this is a problem because it's an array. You cannot clean an array. Come on, catch up to me here. And let's get rid of this because it's an array. What are you complaining about? Unexpected type. But it's an integer. Go away. Just shut up. It's fine. I promise. Anyway, someone who knows a lot more Python is probably going, what an idiot. Anyway, this is not going to fix now because I have to restart the server, and I'm not going to do that. But we'll hit backup anyway. So backing up the whole server, it'll tell you a backup has started in the background. Takes about 4 seconds to refresh. You can go elsewhere while the backup is going on. In this case, yes, I was able to back up 400 meg in 4 seconds. Um, if you've got a very large server file and you're clicking, or you can click around and do things, it's non-blocking, so you can continue doing what you're doing, come back to check up on your backup, and it may be there, maybe it's still backing up. But it'll happen in its own thread in the background. You don't have to worry about it slowing things down. Anyway, you can download your backup by clicking on it. You can delete your backup. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes, I am, and boof, deletes are fast. You can also search for backups, so if you want to look for a particular day, you can do that. I'm going to shut up with this part because I'm sure everyone's like, just get on with it already. Tasks, again, are disabled right now. You can't do anything with that. I will have it fixed here soon. Files, you can go there. And here you notice that we put in a size. We also, all your folders are at the top, all your files are at the bottom. It's also paginated, however you want to say it. You can change the number of entries up here. You can do a search now. Properties. And let's say we want to change this. So you can click on it. And here's your server properties file. You can edit this however you wish. Hit save. Obviously, you'd have to restart your server. You can start your FTP server from here. One thing to note is that if the FTP server is started on this server here, this is the file structure it's going to send out. That will be the root. So the FTP server is it can only have one root. So if you start it here, this will be the root. If you create a new server and you try to start the FTP server, it's going to tell you it's already running and that you can't do that until you stop it. You can't have two of them running on the same ports. It's not going to work. Anyway, so let's go back to our dashboard. Let's click on this button here. Let's create a creative server. And I just happen to, through the magic of television, I already have one ready, as they say. So we'll hit go, create the new server, poof, and we will go ahead and we'll start this one as well, but you won't be able to start it because notice we have the same ports. So let's go into our file manager here. Look for that properties file. And let's do a search. We can find in here 25565. Okay. And close that out. 25566. Creative server. Yes. Save. Go back to our dashboard. And it's still going to say the same. Why? As I told you earlier, every 10 seconds. So we'll wait and keep hitting refresh and hoping that it does not prove me wrong. Seems to have been more than 10 seconds because we're waiting. Bump it. We'll just hit start. And this is going to start. Notice we're on this server, the creative server. And there's the port that I changed. All the wonderful startings. Spawning the area. Go back to our dashboard. Hit F5. That should have changed, but it hasn't. That could be a bug. I thought I fixed that. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. The important thing here is that you can see with two servers running now, this CPU usage is very low. This one is very high because this one is starting up. This one has settled down. Memory usage for this one's higher than this one. How many players are in each of them independently. And again, you can hit the little fold up tab and they'll fold up. And you can add as many as you want in here. Let's do another one. I had one called Mommy because my wife wanted to have one, and I copy and pasted a server into here. And guess what? That's going to fail. It's going to fail instantly because it's got the same port problem, right? So let's go into our terminal for Mommy, and you'll see that it didn't work. We'll go into logs for Mommy. Did I not hit start? I thought I hit start. Maybe I didn't. Okay, I didn't. Well, now it's going to try, and it's going to say, hey, I can't bind to that port. But it is running. It's just that it can't bind to the port. So we'll hit stop, and you'll see that it's stopping the server, saving the files, all that jazz. Go back to our dashboard up here, and notice this is cool. You can see a status is crashed because the server never started. Okay, and you're like, well, that's great that we know it crashed. That's cool. But let me show you some things you may not have known. Let's go to our, let's stop our creative server real quick and go to edit. We have a lot more options in the edit box now. Okay, you have max and min memory, you have arguments for before and after the server, you have, all that stuff there. You have an update jar ability, which I have not finished. I gotta restart and fix that. But here we're gonna have it to where you can actually update your jar with a button press. Auto start. So let's say maybe we wanted to auto start this. And maybe I wanted to auto start it after 99 seconds. And then what's this? This is new. This is auto start priority. So some of your servers are more important than others, and I get that, especially when you've got lobbies that are, for waterfall servers and bungees and all that. So maybe you have a lobby that's most important to get up and running. So set that to a high priority. The creative server maybe will set to a low priority. What that means is that everything, the way this works, is everything that is a high priority gets started first based on the delay. So if you have two servers that are both high, right, and one of them is at 99 seconds and one of them is at 10 seconds, the 10-second one's going to start first, and then it'll move on to the 99 server. And then it'll go to the medium priority. Even if the medium priority was a 5-second delay, it's not a high priority server. So it's not going to start until all the high priorities are done and scheduled out. Kind of cool. Moving along, crash detection. So if the server stops, we can go ahead and restart it. So we'll turn that on. And what this will do is this will go for 4 times. If your server crashes repeatedly, after 4 times, it's going to stop. Because obviously it's broken, you need to fix it, and I don't want Crafty to sit there and start a program consistently in the background, constantly chewing up your CPU usage trying to start the server that keeps crashing. So it won't do that. Also, you can change your port numbers here. If the server is stopped, you can delete the server. But if the server is not stopped, you cannot delete the server. Please stop it before deleting it. Also, and I'm sorry about this, server names cannot be changed once you've created them. You'll have to delete them and re-add them as a different name. You can keep the same folder structure and everything. It's just that every server has to have a unique name. And if the name's not unique, then bad things happen. But also, if you rename a server, and it was a lot of extra code, so I took the lazy man out and said you gotta delete it. I'm sorry. Anyway, you can restart from here, so you can hit that, and it will stop everything, and then it'll start it right afterwards. And see, it's restarting it. We go back, and auto start still disabled. Blah blah blah. Anyway, I've got a bug to fix. I can see that there. Um, anyway, like I said, you can continually add, and this will just keep adding more below, and you can have as many as you want. You can even fold them up, and they will do things nicely like that, right? So you can have it like this. You can add them one at a time. This guy will move it around a little bit because of the size. But that's where we're at. I've wasted enough time today for everyone, and I'm sorry I've jibber jabbered so much. Um, but overall, I think Crafty's come a long way. I like where it's going. Again, it's 100% free, runs on Mac, runs on Linux, runs on Windows, runs on a Pi, because, it's basically Linux. I've not got it to run on a phone yet. I'm not going to do that. Don't ask. That was a joke. If someone asks me about phone support, I'm going to laugh at you a lot. Um, you can use the dashboard from the phone, though. If you can, as long as the ports are forwarded and you can hit your IP, you can control the whole thing from your phone. Matter of fact, it's a fluid response. So let's switch it to a phone real quick. Let's say that someone has an iPhone X. It does work. It's terrible looking, but it is usable. That is horrible. I probably need to put some time into this. Um, you can hit this button here and you can get to your dashboards and whatnot. Maybe maybe on an iPad. That looks horrible. Let's turn it sideways. Oh God, that's horrid. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Let's do that. That looks like crap. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now. Y'all have a good day. I'm gonna fix some of this. Anyway, y'all have a good day. I appreciate your time. Graphy's come a long way. Thank it all. It's all you guys. You guys have given me ideas and things you want, and so that's made it a little more than what it was. It used to be just console. Let's talk about the console. I'm sorry. Let's go to our console. Um, so the console's got a few things. Let's go to help, right? You can change the web port, right? And you can say web port of 7,000 if you wanted, and that would change it there. You can check update, and that'll tell you what you got and what you don't got. Obviously, I'm on the latest version because I'm the developer. Let's see. You can disable an auto start for a server. Okay, so you can say disable auto start for number one. You can list your servers. They'll show you all your servers that are defined, right? So, and a little bit of information about them, what they're doing, what they're not doing. If they're currently running, it'll do that. Um, let's see. Go back to help because I forgot my own commands. You can disable and enable. You can list your servers. You can list your users, right? And so there's only one. You can reload the web server from the command prompt. If for some reason something were to lock up, you can hit just reload web server. Or if you change the port, you need to reload it, right? You can set your password for admin, for instance, and it's going to ask you for a new password. I don't want one. Oh, password's too short. You're going to need to actually put in a password. So let's set a password for test. Oh, it's too short. Let's do a little more. Okay, that works. Oh, well, I didn't press up. My bad. Okay. Do. And yay, it has now been set to an ultra secure password. Let's show our stats and see what's going on. And so now you'll see that this is a little bit different of an interface. You'll only see the servers that are running. You won't see servers. Well, wait a minute, that's running false. Uh-oh. Is that a bug? That's a bug. Oh, another bug. Anywho, so you'll see some basic information here from the command prompt. Or wait a minute, is that list servers? Okay, yeah, we do have 3. So anyway, obviously I have work to do. You can start and stop individual servers. So let's say show stats again. Who's running, who's not. That's running as false. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not a bug. That's server 1, server 2, and server 3. I need to put some spacing in between them. That's what I need to do. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let's see this. This one is running. This one is not. So let's start number 2. And it'll start number 2 in the background. Let's show the stats. And we'll see that number. Anyway, and one more thing. I'm going to wait a second for that to stop chewing up all the memory. Let's refresh here. Okay, so Crafty, you're ready to exit, right? So you go in here and you type in exit. And it's going to, for each server that's running, it's going to shut them down one at a time. And it's going to wait 2 seconds to make sure that it's actually down. This was a big bug fix because I used to just shut down and not even care. Now we're actually really stopping the servers in the background. Also, for people who want to run Crafty as a daemon service, you can do that. Now there is a systemd. There's some systemd scripts inside the wiki pages. Also, you can demonize, okay, which is what you need to run. You can also do special config files. We're going to have to write some documentation on that. But you can change the database where it's storing and all that other stuff. Also -k or tac k all, and that will find and terminate every Crafty instance running to do a clean shutdown. So what you do with that is your systemd can start, and then when you want to stop it, you would just do crafty-k, and that would kill it. Can't imagine where I got the K from. Apache. So basically it's the same for you to shut down that way. Windows, we don't have the, well, the K does work in Windows, but obviously servicing is a little difficult. I've got to get to that. I've just been doing so much with 3.0. I have not had a chance to go in and do the other stuff that I want to get done. I have a huge list of things that need to happen. Yeah, so that's it. That's everything that is the Crafty. So again, I appreciate your time. Boy, this has been a long video. A lot of stuff talked about though. Anyway, y'all have a good day and thank you for your time.